This is my car. I drive an icy VW Touran. I love this car. I camp in it and I feel like it's a little home on wheels for me. So, something you don't know about me is I'm a Pisces, which means I am a natural dreamer. This is going to take a while. And I dream. And when I drive this car, I dream of something. I often imagine, as I'm driving along the road, that this was a VW California and that I was actually in a campervan living van life, because this is like a scaled down version of van life. There's plenty of room for me to sleep. I've practically lived in this car actually, and it's fine. But I dream, and I dream of a VW California, driving down country roads, finding my next little place to camp for the night. Well, you know what they say about manifestation? When you really visualize it and really feel it, that eventually it comes true.
The universe only went and bloody delivered, didn't they? And it gave me this amazing collaboration opportunity with Roadsurfer. 10 days to tour Cornwall, and I can't believe I actually get to tell this story. So let's just get going. Day one, and we collect the van at Bristol Airport. We flew here and then we took the short walk just outside of the airport perimeter to the depot location. The staff were really helpful and we were soon on our way towards Bude, which was going to be our first stop, just to kind of take in the atmosphere of Cornwall before we looked for our first place to stay for the night. Now, I'd like to just stipulate one very important thing. I am used to wild camping, and this is a luxury to be in a camper van, so I set us the task of we had to do the entire trip wild camping with the van. That means we are not allowed to pull into a campsite at any point on this journey. Now that you know this little bit of information, I must digress that I did read a lot of comments that it can be quite difficult to wild camp with a van in Cornwall. A, the locals don't like it, and B, there's a lot of places that don't allow it. People are honking their horns at night as they're driving past. People get like their doors knocked on and told to move along. So I was very nervous to do this, but I did want to succeed at it. So I put my trust in the Park for Night app and just kind of let it rip and see where this challenge took me. I'm going to be quiet now and just say welcome to Bude. Soon back on the road and heading towards a place that we could stay overnight, and I'd found this car park in the valley of Trebarwith Beach. I hope I said that right. So it's just past Tintagel, and it was a pretty nice place to stay for the night. It turned out to be quite windy, but you know, more about that later. We had the full package from Roadsurfer, so that included a box full of all different utilities of things that we needed, like cups and plates and bowls and saucepans and all sorts of things, as well as having bed linen, and we felt pretty made up. There wasn't really anything that we felt like we were missing from this box, so thank you Roadsurfer, that served us well. Before exploring the valley, we made ourselves a little bit of food because we were getting hungry, and then we went off and just had a look around. There were some great spots to kind of look at the ocean, and it was pretty fierce, but it was really, really nice. And there was one pub in the valley, which is Port William, and thank goodness it was a really nice pub and really good atmosphere.
Oh, so good.
needed this. It is day 2, the morning. It is raining again. We've had a full night of headwind down this valley. It's been nuts. So weird sleep. But we are now going to do the Tintagel loop. So we're going to start down in the valley, do a loop up to King Arthur's ruins, and then back down. So we're going to leave the wonderful van and head out. Wish us luck, because it's pissing it down in rain. To see this hike in more detail, I did actually create another video, and I will just pop that up on your screen right now if you want to go and check it, and then you can see the full Tintagel loop and all the details of where exactly we walked and all the things you can see along that route. So go check that video out for more detail. So we have done the full coastal walk up to Tintagel town. It's really, really beautiful, really lovely coastal walk, and now we're on our way back. This bit feels very different. Feels like your average bit of forest, but it's nice. It's been quite windy, quite blowy, but it's been good. And we've had a bit of food and we're energised and we're ready to go back to the van. When we were almost back to the valley, we couldn't believe the difference in Trebarwith Beach. It had just transformed into this magical sandy paradise. So we had to take this time out just to kind of explore and cool off in some rock pools. After our time at Tintagel, we drove further on down the coast towards Padstow, and we found this amazing car park right next to the camel trail. It was really peaceful here, but I want to show you around the van, so let's have a look. So when we picked up the van, just to show you, we got this reusable shopping bag, which we're kind of happy that we have because we didn't have one. So thank you, Roadsurfer, for this. But in that bag, they give you some snacks and things. So we got a can of kombucha each, and we had some pasta seasoning, a bar of soap, a pack of playing cards, and we also had a packet of crisps, but we've already eaten those. So we were really happy to get those from Roadsurfer, because it's quite nice when you pick up a vehicle to immediately have something to eat and drink on our journey, because it did take us about 2.5 hours to drive down here. So this is the whole van with it opened out. Now we've been out and we've been swimming and we got wet stuff, so there are some things. We've made a little line at the end and we are drying some stuff. But this is our VW Ocean. So I'm going to show you around that piece by piece, but you can see it's got the pop-up roof tent up here, and it's got also a double bed in the bottom, as well as all the seating and the kitchen and everything. But let's just get inside and I can show you around the van. Okay, obviously the driving area is just a driving area, so you got your one passenger seat and your driver's seat. I've got to say, it's really, really nice to drive this vehicle. I'm so happy. I have a VW Touran myself, so it's like any other VW. All the systems work the same, but I'm very, very comfortable driving this, and it doesn't feel like I'm driving a really big van, which is what the added bonus of this is, because often motorhomes can feel really big, and this doesn't. It just feels, yeah, like you're just driving a large car. So it's really, really easy to steer, and it's really easy to control, and it's automatic, so it's super easy to drive. If I move around the back here, we are drying some clothes. Right, if I move around the back here, we do have a bit of a mess because we're using it. There's only 2 of us in the van, so this is an extra little sofa seating area which you can use. Tons of storage under here, goes all the way back. Has masses of storage. In here more storage. Under this bit, you've got your gas bottle and everything, and there's also a little shower that connects here, so we can have an external shower. And then, just to show you, and then in here, this is even more storage. So this is another cupboard. And actually up here, I will show you inside, that is even more storage, tons and tons. Basically all of this is storage, all of this is storage, all of this is storage. And this is a sofa if I didn't have everything piled on top, but we've literally just pulled up, so we've got a lot of things that we just left here. And just so you get an understanding of this bit, you can open this, and inside you have some chairs that you can pull out. So you've got picnic chairs that you can use on a nice day, which is really nice. And if I just wing you around here and show you, on the back side of this door that's your outside table, and you literally just pop it out by pulling this little lever. So you get then a picnic table and 2 picnic chairs built into the van, which is actually really, really awesome. This is basically a double seating, and it slides on these rails. So when you want to put the bed down, you just slide it forward. This will drop back, and then it becomes one big double bed in here. When you're inside, you can pop up the roof, and then you've got a whole space that you can stand in, which is super awesome. And I'm going to turn the camera around so you can really see how big it is. So I can get in here, and I've got tons of space. I can stand up and maneuver, so you don't feel like you're really cramped. And then when it's bedtime, you literally just pull this down. You're like short like me, it can be a little bit of a stretch. So this comes down, and then this is a bed up here, which I will get up there and show you the bed as well. Just a side note, actually, when you rent these vans from Roadsurfer, you can get all the bedding. So we have duvets and sheets and pillows and things, so all the bedding comes with the van. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to travel with a sleeping bags or anything like that, so it's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna show you up, and this is up in the top. It's very cozy. All of these kind of things open up, and you have like windows and vents, so that can all open. And this front area, again, you can open the whole thing and have it completely open, or you can just open this bit and then you just have a vent. The kind of nice thing about that is that you don't get all the mosquitoes in here with you if you only open just the vents, because they've all got nets to stop the mosquitoes getting in. But if you're mosquito free, then you can open the whole front up and just have it like a big open enjoyable space. Okay, so the kitchen, you get plenty of space for all your food. You got like a drawer here for knives and forks and things. We just haven't bothered to put the knives and forks in there. We just keep them in the box all the time. It's kind of easier. Instead, we use it to store like washing up stuff, you know, bin bags and things. And of course, my drone sits snugly in there. And then you have exactly the same on the other side. So I don't think you really notice here. We've used it as some extra storage space because we didn't really need more space than that. These just pop that in like that, and then you have cooking, and we have in here, here's our fridge, which we have it turned on right now, and it's pretty cold. Keeps the food nicely cooled in there. This is a cupboard, sorry, not a cupboard, a table. So this just pops out, that comes down, that comes down, and now we have a table. These 2 front chairs, they swivel completely around. They do a 180, so you can just turn around and be part of dinner here. There's a little sink here as well. So basically, everything you need is in this tiny little space, and we're really loving it. After our 10k at Tintagel and finding this epic little place, it was time for us to get some food on the go and just chill out for the night. We were getting pretty tired by now, so it was a well-deserved dinner of soup and bread because, you know, that's what you make when you're camping. It actually feels like a real little gem here because it's quite secluded. There's one other person camping here, like a couple with their dog, but it's so much quieter than where we were last night, and we're not getting hit by any winds. Generally it's calmer tonight, but there's no rain, there's no wind, and it's quiet and it's dark here, and there's no one really driving around, so we're really hoping that tonight's a much better sleep, because last night was pretty horrific with the wind and the rain, so wish us luck on that one. Day 3, and we are about to embark on a little hike into Padstow from where we've parked down in this really nice bit of car park space. So we need to go the other way. We're going to Wadebridge.
Well, I want Wadebridge.
We're going to Padstow that way, and we're walking on what's called the Camel Trail. It says 2 miles to Padstow, so off we go, and hopefully we can get ourselves a little bit of coffee in a nice warm cafe because it's bloody cold today. We're gonna pop Morton's Cornish pasty cherry. Get your first bite. We need your rating. How's the Cornish pasty?
It's quite good.
Yeah? Yeah?
I like it better than the
Sausage roll.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cornish pasty beats sausage roll.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Where we're parked. Bridge. Oh, look how far you can go. We'll go all the way to visit the beast of Bodmin. Finish up at a place called Wenfall's Bridge. The trail was a very easy hike and it was quite enjoyable. It was a nice sunny day. We had some good views. And Padstow was definitely a vibe, so it got a good thumbs up from us, and obviously the parking spot was absolutely awesome. But nonetheless, we do need to move on, so we had to leave. We got back on the road and we headed towards Constantine Bay. We wanted to go and have a look at the bay area and maybe take a hike up to Trebarwith Head, where there is a lighthouse. But when we got there, it was extremely windy, and we basically decided to just kind of have a little look around and explore, but not stay too long. So we soon were back on the road again and heading south. This lay-by was at a place called Portholland. Portholland was literally just below us, but it wasn't anything major to write home about, and probably out of all the places we stayed, this was our least favourite, even though you had a nice view. you are right on a road, just in a lay-by with zero privacy. The next morning we didn't really hang around, we literally just got up, packed up and left because, well, as you can see, we're just being overlooked by private houses and I kind of feel a bit weird about that. We actually had a completely fine night's sleep, but we just didn't really want to hang around. It was just a lay-by, so we headed off to St.Ives to have a full day of exploring around there.
Oh, we're gonna just drive straight to the ocean.
We parked the car up and took a little exploration around all these lovely little streets and basically looked for some yummy delicacies because the weather today was not looking too bright and we needed to cheer ourselves up. And what better way to cheer ourselves up than to just feed our faces?
You literally have just bitten only pastry at that point.
But I need to kind of figure out how does it roll on itself. How's the hole?
It looks like it's going to explode. Like. Have you hit custard yet? You're still only eating pastry.
No.
I think it's a joke.
What do you think this is?
Oh, well, looks a little bit like semen. I feel like I'm on like Sherlock Holmes or something.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I'm being forced into another outdoor store.
Nobody forces you.
I got forced in here.
No, you can just stay outside.
I've been forced. Another outdoor store. Because clearly I
Unless
need...
You go in voluntarily that it's... see.
Because I defo need more
a
clothes.
sheep t-shirt.
I could get a sheep t-shirt, yeah. Oh, it's difficult, isn't it? Look how cheap it all is over here. That's it. I want a coffee.
I mean, come on, what else is there to do on a wet, windy day at St.Ives other than just, you know, drink coffee, eat cake and feel happy? With our bodies cooking on sugar, we decided to go back to the van and make our way along the coast down towards Land's End. We've been told by a local that this road was actually really beautiful, so we're quite looking forward to this, despite the weather.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
Come to Cornwall, they said. It'll be beautiful, they said.
See the world, they say. Come to Cornwall,
Come
they
to
say.
Cornwall.
Well, I'd rather be sailing.
This is Cornwall. Rainy and disgusting. Go on, put that window down. Enjoy the views. Hang on. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It's instantly just...
It's gorgeous.
If you need to take a picture.
Yeah, we're doing it from inside the van.
Yeah, but everything's gonna be wet.
Oh, this weather, man.
Well, that was the view from Sennen, which lasted, you know, all of half an hour while we just grabbed a sandwich or something. But we moved on very quickly and we headed towards Land's End. And I can just say that, you know, the weather was not improving in any way. So we decided to just park up the car and accept our fate that the rain was not going to stop and we would have to just deal with it.
We've got no choice. We have to just do it. We were trying to wait for the rain to stop. Not gonna happen, so this is probably one of the most stupid things
I've done, other than climbing in weird, stupid places. Here we go, Land's End. I'm not actually sure if these ducks are waiting for a bus or if they're just confused because there's so much water on the road from all the rain. Either way, it's kind of funny. So here we are, day 5. We had a really good night's sleep. This turned out to be a really nice spot. The stream was really soothing, it was really quiet, there wasn't really anyone around, and we could enjoy some morning coffee and plan our day. And the day basically was to just go and explore on a long hike, and that meant Logan Rock and Pendower Beach. But you know what? We actually really scored this day, and I am just going to let you see some highlights of the day. I actually do have a detailed hiking video on this one. It is the best hike we experienced the whole of Cornwall, so please go and have a look at that video because you will not be disappointed by this location. Logan Rock was an absolute pleasure to be on. It had this kind of zen atmosphere about it and amazing views. It was just you, the wind, the sun, and the birds, and the sound of the sea, and it was just absolutely beautiful. So we took our lunch break here before we moved on to Pendower Beach. The route down to Pendower Beach is actually pretty hard going, so just take it easy if you're on this hike. But, you know, I like hard, and the reward for hard is that you get this amazing beach that not many people are on except for us. And, you know, a few nudists. It was the beach that just kept giving, because as the tide went out, it just kept becoming more and more insanely beautiful, and to the point where I could almost not believe that this was a UK beach. But, you know, it is. And if you want to go there, then it's Pendower Beach in Cornwall, and go enjoy it. Alas, the beach day had to come to an end and we had to move on and find somewhere new to go. So first stop on the route to find somewhere to sleep is Mousehole. We didn't stop here, but we did drive through, and just driving through was not that easy because it's very pokey. So if you do not like the tiny little narrow streets in England, do not come to Mousehole because it's filled with them. But at the same time, it's very, very cute and has a lot of charm. We found this really great spot at Drift Reservoir, and it was just this quiet, large car park, and it gave us amazing views over this huge reservoir, but it was just quiet, and that's all we need. So here we are, day 6, and we had another nice evening and quiet and peaceful, and I got to pick some blackberries for breakfast, which was a pretty nice little treat actually. I just managed to get some drone footage of the reservoir. Yeah, this is from my bed. How cozy is this? But it's been a bit difficult because it's now overcast again, so we don't have particularly good weather. I really feel like I'm just fighting the weather all the time. But you know what, it is what it is, and I'm happy to wake up and have that as my view. So I'll take it for now. No time to dilly-dally though. We wanted to go and explore some of the country roads and maybe see if we could get some nice viewpoints so that I could get some shots of the van. So off we go, and we found this really nice area that overlooked Penzance and down to St. Michael's Mount. which actually is going to be our next little piece of touristy spot along the way on our itinerary for today. So, let's go and have a look at St. Michael's Mount. So the idea here is that at low tide you can walk all the way over to the mount, or the island that is sitting out there in the water. But today we are not fortunate enough to be here at the right time for when low tide is. So we're just going to have to admire it from a distance, because I don't really want to get in that water. It's a little bit chilly. So we're back on the road again, and we are yet again looking for a place to stay for the night. We head towards Padstow Sands, and I really wanted to stay here overnight, but unfortunately the tiny little car park that was available was really full of other vehicles. So we just dipped our toes and moved on to this place, which is Church Cove, around Lizard Point area. Before we hunkered down for the night though, we decided to take one last soggy little coastal hike down to Lizard Point. And we were lucky enough that we spotted some seals out in the water. Someone told us a basking shark was out there, but we definitely did not see it.
These steps are utterly savage. Look at them. They just go on and on and on. So we get up to that side and we've got to go all the way up there.
So after an amazing night's sleep at this location, we got up and just, cleaned ourselves up, had a small face wash, checked to see if any of our clothes had dried overnight, which they never seem to. And then most importantly was to get some hot coffee brewing, because man did we need it on this soggy morning. So now I'm going to leave you with some brewing coffee vibes in the campervan. It is time for us to pack up the van and just get back on the road, searching for our next location and our next overnight. To Devon, where I actually visited a friend that I hadn't seen for a few years, and he was so sweet and let us freshen up and have a shower at his place, so thank you so much for that. Then we moved on to Truro and just restocked the van with food and things that we needed. And then we found this brilliant place at Pendower Beach. It was this lay-by car park that was right up on the cliff edge, and it had the most amazing views. And it was a really good place for us to stop for the night. It was really quiet, there was no one else around. And so we did some housekeeping and we just kind of cleaned some of our clothes. Our shoes were getting a bit stinky because we couldn't get them dry, and they were just smelling of our feet, and which was just awful. And I hate to admit this to everyone, but we literally had to put our shoes outside every time we slept because it would just stink the van out. And honestly, some of the truth bombs that come out of this trip are just probably not so glorious, but that's the reality of what we were doing. Doing a nighttime shoot. Get to walk around with my goofy headlamp on. With my baby. We're trying to pretty up the van in the dark. I like doing nighttime shoots.
3, 2, 1, go. Done.
And these are the results from our nighttime shenanigans. I hope you like them. Wow, so here we are already, day 8, and we woke up to the most calm and serene sunrise that we just had to enjoy the morning and kind of make some coffee and relax. So it was time to get the chairs out of the van, and I think this was actually the first time we used them, and just enjoy the scenery. some breakfast time though, we, had to pack up the van again, and it was back on the road as we were looking for our next adventure. And that came in the shape of a town called Portholland. Just bear in mind, Portholland is you get in and you go back out the same way because there's only a footpath on the other side of this town, but doesn't mean it's not worth visiting. There is a little cafe down here, but unfortunately it was closed, so we just, got back on the road again to find somewhere else that we could maybe get some lunch or just have some kind of hike or something. So here we go, back on the road. We stopped at Portholland Bay on the way through, and we kind of, we liked it, but it was more of a place I really wanted to go swimming here because it looks so beautiful, but it was a little bit cold, so we would rather go for a hike and enjoy some nature that way, so we moved along. We head off to an area we can see on the map called Dodman Point, but my goodness, check out these roads. They are so thin and they're just constantly scratching down the side of the van, and we were getting really conscious of whether we were going to damage the paintwork. What is that sound? Oh my goodness. I don't think they ever cut these hedges. Oh, the screeching. Yeah! Woo! Oh my, breathe. And back in. Views are amazing. Screeching. Not so good. At this point, we were starting to worry that we'd bitten off more than we could chew, and we were getting really concerned about the size of these lanes. But, sometimes you just have to push your adventure limits in order to reach the really cool places. And that's what we were going with. Holy shit. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, Roadsurfer. We're trying to treat this van with the utmost respect. But we persevered and we finally made it. So here you go. Enjoy Dodman Point hike.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise that with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about.
We scored massively for our camping spot, and we had this amazing view to watch the sun go down over White Sand Bay.
I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way.
I'd love to say that we had the most amazing night's sleep, but actually the wind became shockingly strong in the night and I just couldn't sleep. I was so nervous we would just blow over sideways that at 3 a.m. I started turning the van around with Morton just sleeping in the tent above. But alas, the next day, still windy, but very beautiful. So we packed up the van and we went off for one of our last few hikes of the trip. Oh my god, guys, this is our last coastal hike and it feels like such a major adventure to get to this point, and it's kind of sad but exciting at the same time So enjoy the sounds of the wind as we walk past Portholland Fort and out to St. Michael's Chapel at Ram's Head. It's a really beautiful rugged hike. Highly recommend it. Very, very windy, almost to the point of it being dangerous at places. But it was gorgeous and I would definitely do it again in a heartbeat and enjoy the sound of the wind. So here you go. Evening in Cornwall, we took refuge at Bodmin Moor to get out of the wind mainly. We spend our last morning in Cornwall exploring Bodmin Moor. We spent our very last night of van life at Hawkridge Reservoir in Somerset. The last 10 days has been one hell of an adventure, and I spend time leaving my top Cornwall tips for the next Roadsurfer renters. So last night, we can use these. And the sun is just setting over that way. Let's go. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for investing the time to watch this very long episode and watch this journey unfold through Cornwall. And thank you to Roadsurfer for collaborating with me to bring this project into fruition. And this experience has been utterly breathtaking, and I'm going to leave you this amazing sunset that we experienced on our last night.